went to bed, and this lady called Jan, who said she'd be the midwife. Well, I don't get into the story. The story's too much. But 33 and a half hours of labor. Oh. Here's interesting. We're driving along in the car, and we're having this baby in the womb. Where she is. How did that ever fit? We're driving along, and the radio comes on and says, "There's a meteorite shower in Orion." I said, "That's when the baby will be born." I just love Orion. I just love Orion. Meteorite shower in Orion.
On October 20th.
October what?
20th.
October the 20th. I said, "That's when the baby was born." Well, she went into labor on the 17th. Was it?
Oh, 33 hours before.
33 and a half hours before, at any rate. But I totally forgot about that. Oh, you figure, you go figure, I don't know. But destiny, it's destiny. It's destiny. There are children coming into this world just like you. They're coming by divine imprint and destiny. There's a meteorite shower in Orion to celebrate Eva's coming into this world, even if it took 3 and a half hours for us to birth her. And in the middle of the birthing pain, I looked Carolyn straight in the eyes. Yes, I can't do this. Here we are. Here's the whole drama of Adam and Eve acting out on top of a bed on our knees. And I looked straight in their eyes and I said, "Yes, you can." And I've never felt more like God in all my life. I must have been out of my mind. She said a cesarean before. I must have been totally medically out of my mind to say such a thing. But I knew it. I knew it as sure as I knew what I am. I said, "Yes, you can do this. You can birth this new consciousness of who you are."
Yeah.
Because the ages hinge on the birthing of your being in this time frame, time and space, the acknowledgement of who you are. This great, wonderful journey is a journey in the sense it's an illusion because there's only God. I've got a friend who preaches that. He says, God is the only one who has existence. I say, well, what about me? I exist.
Yes.
You're just an illusion. No, I'm not. I'm no illusion. I am what he is. So the illusion of duality, the beautiful, powerful illusion of duality, which is this journey, is what this is all about, right? It's about duality, about two. There's always two on these journeys. There's the Father and the Son, right? And there's two-dimensional existences that you have. I just want to say this, just like, you know, on the Autobahn, everything glimpses so fast, but let me say this, it is such a great treasure, and I love to say it, even if I could just get another emotional grasp of it. If maybe I can go see the Avatar movie again. Maybe that'll help. You know, maybe that'll help me to know that I'm an avatar. Maybe it'll help me know that there's two of me. And you don't have to put me in a box and put me to sleep. Maybe you did. Maybe I went in a box. Maybe I went to sleep. And maybe I took on another form so that I could exist in another planetary existence. Right? Maybe there are those avatars. Right? And maybe they are multidimensional, and maybe there's another part of me, and maybe the only way that I can experience this reality is for me to fall asleep to my greater knowing. And that's all that death ever was. And all that death ever serves is to make you aware of the sleep of your eternal being. And all death that you see in your family, in your life, in the trees, all death reminds you of the resurrection. The knowing that you will reawaken in the greater knowing of who you are. And to embrace that duality. To know that even though there's only one of you, ever was but one thought in God that created you, and that thought is the very substance and essence of God himself, can never separate from God. Yet, in your experience in this world at this time, you need to embrace this as your reality, that there's at least two of you. That's right. This one that you perceive, and that higher being that exists in other levels. I need to know. And Jesus hid it in the parables. I don't go into it because it's really beautiful. It's really more wonderful if you search it. Let me just say this. Okay, just say one more. Let's just do this. About the journey. Yeah. I think this is what I want. These transparencies, I've been using them at home, and it's really wonderful because you don't have to go. Can you see the whole thing like that? No, you start at the top. Barbara, I can blame Barbara for this. She said, Rokus, you got to start a mystery school. I said, right. Mystery school. But I thought, well, what's a mystery school? Well, you just begin to investigate the mysteries together. That's really simple. Nothing hard about this. So I did it. I created a mystery school just by saying it. And there's 2 great programs running. This is the mystery little syllabus for me. So this is what I do, just to give you a little idea what I play with at home, that my children and the fellowship at home, they have to bear with me. They do it graciously. They let me do it. There's one program running, and that's the great program of consciousness. It began, and I love what Lynn said about it, the first principle, because you can't think of it in a linear time frame, because there was no time. This program is not running within time, it includes time. It's greater than time and space. So the first principles of this program of consciousness is to create separation. The mystery of the one, right? You know about the one, don't you? And then there's the mystery of the two. How did two ever come out of the one? Except by desire and intent. Right? Then the mystery of sin. How sin is the evolutionary driver of this program. What am I talking about? I'm talking about your eternal being, the greater being that lives in other levels of reality, that's experiencing the journey. That's what I'm talking. Remember now, I'm not talking about your earth experience yet. We haven't got there yet. You're still just a blob of consciousness out there without form or with limited form. Maybe you're beginning to form some kind of form in the thought realms, but you have no physical form at all. Right? Beginning to experience yourself as something separate from God, the first notion in you. How can I exist, God, this wonderful love that you are? You can absolutely go back and remember those things. God left in you a point trigger, a memory trigger. If you're willing and have the courage, what? Take the red pill? Blue pill? If you have the courage to push the button, and you only can do it. Preacher can't make you do it. Jesus can't make you do it. Holy Ghost can't make you do it. You are sovereign about the unfolding of your being. But if you find the courage through an empowerment, through Jesus the Messiah, in fact, that's the one that is, might as well know it. If you will allow Him to empower you to push the button of awakening and say, yes, I want to know who I am. I want to remember where I came from. I want to remember God, but you thought that you created me. Now that takes courage. Absolutely right, Bob. That takes courage.